When I was younger, I thought turning 30 means that you're very, very old, which obviously is not the case. I turned 30 in March 2020, right after the pandemic hit. I was supposed to go to Bucharest with all my friends. I had like this great, amazing experience. And instead, I was at home. Don't get me wrong, it was still great, but you know, I didn't get to celebrate as I wanted. Anyways, you probably have heard people saying your 30s are better than your 20s. And it's so freaking true, honestly. I always thought it was bullshit. Okay, but it depends on how you live your life. But for me, my 30s are just the same as my 20s. The only difference is that I have more money and I have all this knowledge. So I'm gonna share some of this with you. Like, legit, it took me almost 32 years to learn it. So here you go. As much as it sounds like a cliche, it's so true. Age is just a number. I feel exactly the same now as I was like 25. Never think you are too old to do something. I go out pretty much every weekend. I am thinking about changing my career. And I know people who do that like in their 40s or even 50s. It is never too late. I also love how like on TikTok women are like, oh, I'm 30 something. And then the comments are like, what? 30? You look like you're 20. You look so young. You don't look like in your 30s. What the fuck? Have you ever seen a woman in their 30s? Like, honestly, it's not like when we turn 30, we start to like decay and slowly die. I honestly don't see much difference between now and when I was like maybe 24. I get like few wrinkles, but other than that, I look much better. Like, but yeah, 30 is still so young. It's definitely better to be alone than be in a happy relationship. I am someone that you might call a lame. Yeah, that as well. I am someone that you might call a late bloomer. I never had a boyfriend when I was a teenager, and I never actually got a lot of attention from men, and I think that fucked me up a little bit. I always felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, all my friends, they're having boyfriends, they're getting married and this and that, and it never happened to me. And then I was constantly in those like situationships where it's just like not a relationship, but it's not strictly casual. I don't know, it was just such a waste of time. And then I got my first boyfriend when I was 30. It was so bad. I was so happy that like I liked him, like I was attracted to him and he was attracted to me, and he seemed nice and he seemed interested in me, so like nothing else mattered. I don't want to talk too much about like my private life here, but let's just say that we were not meant to be. I was so unhappy and I cried all the time, and it was just not what it was supposed to be. But I was just so blinded by the idea of finally being in a relationship and finally having what everyone had that I refused to let go of it. I don't know, that was just nuts. But finally, thank God, the things ended between us. And then I took some time alone to like gather my thoughts, and I realized that I was like deeply unhappy in a relationship. I was so unhappy and I didn't focus on myself at all, and it just occupied all my thoughts, and it was just so bad for me. And then I decided I'm only gonna get into a relationship if it's gonna like add something to my life, because my peace of mind is priceless. I'm so happy being single. I have time for all the things I want. No one can tell me nothing. I don't need to prioritize someone else over myself and their needs. So yeah, it's definitely to be better alone than to be unhappy with someone else. And also, please remember, don't base your worth on the fact that if you're in a relationship or not. You need to tell them what you want. Don't assume people can read your mind. Don't assume that people will figure out what you want and if you're upset about something. To be honest, I still struggle with it to this day, but at least I'm aware. Sometimes I'm like, oh, why are you doing this? Isn't that like common sense? But like, I never tell people that this bothers me, so like, why would they know? Communication is a key. That's the greatest lesson I've learned in my late 20s and early 30s. People don't care. Honestly, I spent half of my life being obsessed about what other people think about me and how I come off and stuff like that. But in reality, everyone is so self-absorbed. Even if you do something stupid or cringy, they'll think about it for like 10 minutes, have a laugh, and then just go back to think about themselves. So do that thing. Get out of your comfort zone. Post that video. People really don't think about you as often as you think they do. I wouldn't be here where I am if it wasn't for the bad things that happened to me. When something bad happens, you learn about yourself and you learn about the world. Like, imagine if you lived such a sheltered life and everything was perfect, and then suddenly something bad happens, and honestly it would crush you. And also, each time you deal with something hard, you become stronger. And then for the future, you know, like, if you've dealt with that, you can deal with anything else. I am all about the small things, like, honestly. I got it for Christmas from my flatmate Valentina. Look at this. Like, honestly, try to appreciate all the small things that happen. Like, if you eat very good dinner, if the sun is shining, if you saw a very, very cute dog or a very cute man. Look at you, Natasha. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit exaggerating, but like every time something like even mildly good happens to me, I'm like, this is the best day of my life. Yeah, recently I went to the shop of like with like American sweets. And I bought this bar that I always used to eat when I lived there, and that made me so happy. Like, honestly, it made my day. So like, if you appreciate things like that, you become much more happier. And like, if you have goals in life, they're usually like bigger goals, and if you think they're gonna make you happy, like, you're gonna have to wait. And if you appreciate the small things, you always have something good in your life, you know? Traveling is one of the best education you can ever take. Like, when I came back from living in America for 2 years, my brother was like, I don't recognize you, you're not my sister. Honestly, I've learned so much about world, about life. And through my travels and moving abroad many times, I've met so many people and I've learned so much about different cultures. And I also have learned a lot about myself. So yeah, if you have a chance, go travel, or even better, go live abroad for a little bit, because that really opens your eyes to a lot of things. I know it is hard, but you can't do everything by yourself. And you might think it shows your weakness, but it's on the contrary. It shows that you are not afraid to ask for help, and that you appreciate the relationships that you have in your life, and you know that you can count on those people. Like, for example, if my friends ask me for help, I feel like I'm getting closer to them and I feel like we're connected. And definitely it's not a bad thing. A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one. I freaking love this quote. And it's so true. I've always used to read a lot of books, even when I was a kid. Like, during summer, other kids were just like running around and playing, and I would sit in my garden with a book. My favorite will always be Harry Potter. And I think that's why I really love living in Edinburgh, because it's basically like living in a Harry Potter world. Honestly, personally, I don't trust people who don't read books. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. A few years ago, I was actually struggling with reading books, but what really helped me is getting a Kindle. This small little thing is just like the best thing I've ever purchased, honestly. I read so much right now. Like you're in the mood for something and you can just find it there. You don't need to go out and buy it and wait for it to arrive. It's just there. So yeah, 100% recommendation. I mostly read fiction, but also I love some self-help books. Obviously, this channel is all about this. I've read like thousands of them, honestly. If you have any good recommendation, just comment them down below. I will definitely check it out. It's like on a plane. When something happens, you have to put your oxygen mask on yourself first and then on your kids. Like, you need to take care of yourself in order to take care of other people. Sometimes we think that prioritizing ourselves, it's selfish, but it's not. If you don't focus on your own well-being, and if you don't love yourself, it's gonna be much harder to help other people and to be there for them, you know? So remember, put your oxygen mask first. If you're not new to this channel, you know that I preach about intuition in every freaking video. Like, honestly, it's the best tool. And it's free. Like, you know, sometimes you get this gut feeling. Trust it. I really tried to ignore it when I was younger, but now I've learned that it is always true. And I know the intuition got me out of a lot of trouble. So try to be more in tune with yourself and listen to the little voice in your head. This one is also very important. I've only discovered this like a couple of years ago. You are responsible for your own happiness. So don't blame others for your own happiness. But not only that, also don't depend on others for your happiness. I used to do that in the past and it got me literally nowhere. Don't build your self-worth on like relationship or attention from men or on your friends, because all those things can disappear and you're left with nothing. You have to be your own source of happiness. Hypothetical scenario for purpose of this video, it never happened to me. Well, so imagine you're in a relationship and you're so happy, you're like on the cloud 9. You're so happy and this person is not treating you very well. And when they do, you're so happy and you feel like you could conquer the world and it's amazing. And then they withdraw and it seems like all the happiness is gone. So yeah, don't do that. Yes, practice gratitude. I firmly believe in order to get more, you have to be grateful for what you have right now. And also on a daily basis, you don't realize how privileged you are, how good you have. So what I suggest, every day write down at least like 3 things that you're grateful for. I'm sure it's going to elevate your mood and it's going to make you appreciate what you already have. I think life's going to become much easier. In everyday life, you don't really notice all the great things that you have and all the good things that happen to you and all the great people that you have in your life. So you need to intentionally look at this. It's mind-blowing, honestly. Try it. I feel like we've talked about it a lot. It's 2022. But honestly, I know so many people who don't even put SPF on in the summer. You have to wear it every day throughout the whole year. I put SPF 50 on my face. I'm gonna be young forever. I am a firm believer that everyone needs therapy. You can fight me on this, but period. But you know what's also ironic? People who actually go to therapy, they're in there because of the people who actually need to go to therapy. I am in therapy for about 4 years now, and it literally changed my life. Like, I could not be more thankful for my therapist. I've learned so many great techniques, and I've learned so much about myself. And I'm sharing this all with you here now on this channel. So basically, I pay for my therapy and I give it to you for free. How charitable of me. That's very important. Learn how to say no. I am such a people pleaser. But recently I've been working on setting up my boundaries, and I think I'm doing much better. Honestly, the feeling of empowerment when you say no to something you don't want to do is just amazing. And people should respect your boundaries. But also, you should know how to say no. But also the other thing is FOMO, which is fear of missing out. I struggle with it a lot. Especially now, because my friends, they go out, they have fun. But I have a lot of things to do with this channel. So I stay in, but then I struggle internally. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should go. I really want to go. But then I'm like, oh, but I really don't want to. I want to focus on my work. So yeah, that is very hard as well. To say no to things you kind of want, but also you know you should not. And you don't have to go to every party. You don't have to go to every dinner. Like, invest in yourself as well. I saw this video, I'm just gonna paraphrase it because I don't remember. But like, being poor is hard. Being fat is hard. Working out is hard. Working hard is hard. Choose your hard. Sometimes you have to say no to things that are easy. But also now the opposite of that, learn how to say yes. Open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities. Get out of your comfort zone and learn new things. You will teach yourself things you would never think you're gonna learn. Like, doing things that scare you can be so good for you. Cut negative and toxic people out. This is sometimes the best thing you can do for your own mental health. Cut them out. If they're not serving you, if they always make you feel worse, if they make you feel small and unimportant, if they always pick on you, cut them. Even if it's your own family. You are the most important person in your life. Remember that. Yes, I've been there. I did that as well, and it got me to a very dark place. I'm struggling with binge eating now. I'm doing much better, and I'm focusing on my health now. But honestly, if you want to lose weight, do it properly, get help, go to licensed dietitian, not some like nutritionist from Instagram. Like, don't, like, be smart about it, don't be stupid. I see so many comments on TikTok, it angers me so much. I'm even like agitated now. I've seen these videos of like what I eat in a day, and there's like a bigger girl and she will eat like normal meal, like, you know, potatoes, some salad and some chicken, and people be like, you're never gonna lose weight eating all those carbs, you eat too much, you should eat 1,200 calories. What? First of all, you need carbs. Even quick Google will tell you this. Second of all, please do yourself a favor and get actual real advice. There's nothing worse than stupid people on the internet that think they're smart. So following that advice, you're basically taking a shortcut to eating disorder. So good luck with that. Live your own damn life. I actually made a video about it. Click on it to watch it. Just don't listen to what other people in society tells you, because first of all, every person looks at world through their own eyes, and they're looking at your life through their own needs, if you know what I mean. But also sometimes I get this feeling like those people, they're like, oh, when are you gonna settle down, when are you gonna have kids, you should have kids. They're like not really happy about their own life, and they want everyone to be equally unhappy. If you know what I mean. So they have this feeling that they didn't have another choice because everyone is getting married and everyone is having kids and everyone is living the same life as them. I don't know, just a thought. But yeah, do what the fuck you want. Watch that video to learn more. And yeah, that is all for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. And turning 30 is not really that scary. I honestly love it. I feel much more confident. I feel much happier now than in my 20s. So something to look forward to if you're younger than me. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe.